Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of the 360 Road to Home Ownership Series, Session 2. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Housing and Community Development Department's second session of the Spring 360 Road to Home Ownership. My name is Latasha Smith, and I am the Community Involvement Coordinator for the Communication and Outreach Division. HCD is working to better equip community members to navigate the complicated home buying process. Tonight, we will continue our series of part 2, Building the Perfect Team. In this evening's discussion, we will touch bases on how to pick the perfect team for your home ownership journey. This evening, we are honored to have three great presenters from Mitchell Realty and Chase Bank. They all come with years of experience in their relative fields. Just a few housekeeping notes that we would like to mention. First, all audio should remain muted throughout the presentation. Second, we are requesting that you put any questions in the chat box function. During the question and answer portion of our event tonight, the presenters will tend to those questions at that time. Lastly, I know you've probably seen a message at the top of your screen saying this is a recorded event. Yes, it is. This is a recording event, and the recording and the presentation will be available to all attendees after the event. So now we will move forward in our event, and we will have our agenda for Ms. Becky Benitez, our community liaison.
Good evening, everyone. Our agenda for today is the introduction of our director and outreach staff. We have a mini commercial for Fair Housing Hotline, introduction of today's guest presenter, licensed realtor, Mitchell Realty and loan advisor, Chase Bank. Then we have our upcoming events and our final remarks.
I would like to introduce the housing director, Mr. Keith W. Bynum. And I would like to also introduce the outreach team. I am Onika Porter, the administrative manager. Latasha Smith is our community involvement coordinator. Pedro Sosa, Becky Benitez, and Dejanay Jones are our community liaisons.
The Fair Housing Act prohibits housing discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, and familiar status. If a landlord refuses to rent to you because of your service animal, the language you speak, or the color of your skin, you may have been a victim of housing discrimination. If you feel that you have been discriminated against, call the Department of Housing and Urban Development at 1-800-669-0777. Want to learn more about fair housing rights? Call the Fair Housing Hotline at 832-394-6240.
All right, so now we are up to our presenters for tonight. First, we have a licensed realtor, Ms. Lisa Diaz from Mitchell Realty. We have Ms. Jessica Godinez from Chase Bank, and she is a community home lending advisor, as well as Ms. Sandra Olivo. She is from Chase Bank as well. She is a community home lending advisor. So before we get started, I would like to know how many of the people that we have online, how many of you are ready right now to be a homeowner? If you are, if you would just raise your hand, raise your hand. We have one, Miss Foster, Miss O'Neill. Mr. Fields, do you have your hand up? All right, I see your hand, I see your hand. What, Miss Tina, do you have your hand up? Miss Kathy. All right. How many of you have a realtor already? Do we have any that do you have your realtor already? Okay. We have a few that have selected a realtor already. One thing about the home buying process, it is very important that you get a realtor. And we have brought along a awesome realtor. She has been with us for several of our home Road to Home Ownership series. She has been a part of our HCD family for a while now. She is a great realtor, and she has much information that she would like to share with you tonight. And I see Miss Adams, are you all right? We got Miss Adams on as well. Thank you all for joining. I see people are still joining. I'm very happy about that because we have some great information. And like I said, we have Miss Lisa Diaz here with us to share some information about the importance of having a realtor. So now I'm going to give this over to Miss Lisa Diaz. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Latasha. I appreciate the opportunity to join you. Do you hear feedback? Do you hear any feedback? No? Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today to speak to you about the very important steps of home buying. And I'm thrilled to see so many hands up because we're here as your team to help you on the road to home ownership. So the keys to home ownership, we're going to go down the road to guide to buying a home of your own. So I always want you to remember throughout this entire process, sometimes it might be tedious, but I want you to always remember that you can do it. So rent versus buy. We all need a home to stay, to rest our heads each day, to come home to after work. So what are some of the pros and what are some of the cons versus buying and renting? So we'll go over through them quickly. So as far as renting, some of the pros can be that you can relocate anytime. There's no commitment to a mortgage. And sometimes your credit score will not preclude you from renting. And the landlord is responsible for maintenance, property taxes, and insurance. Some of the challenges that you might have is that you have no equity, no assets, the rent could rise anytime, and you have shared walls with neighbors, you have less control and restrictions over your living environment, and sometimes you have to relocate if the owner decides to sell or not renew the lease. So what are some of the pros about buying a home of your own? You have long-term security, you can establish generational wealth, you can build equity as you pay your mortgage, you have creative control over your own living space, and you add equity and wealth as the value of your home increases, and you have the option of renting your home out to generate income. Some of the challenges that you might face in buying is that sometimes it's usually a long-term investment, which is not always a negative thing. You have some maintenance costs that you have, and some of the upfront costs, such as earnest money, down payment, and closing costs, to name a few. But that's something that we're going to help you navigate throughout this process. And one of the things to note about renting is that on average, the rent is continuing to increase with time. So one of the very important steps about buying is one of the advantages is that with your mortgage, you have a fixed rate throughout the life of the loan. So I saw so many hands up that saying that they are ready to buy a home. And these are some of the things about buying a home: to be informed about your credit, to choose your home team, which is myself and the members at Chase, consult with your real estate agent, get pre-approved for a home, which both of us can do. I can help you look for a home, and Chase can help you get pre-approved for a home. Search for a home, make an offer, negotiate and sign a contract, remain steady throughout the process. You'll get a final loan approval, close with the title company, and welcome home. We'll go through each of these steps. As you go through these steps, I want you to remember that it's never too late. It doesn't matter your age, your time, the time that we're at right now. It's never too late to buy a home. Credit score. One of the important factors in purchasing your home is a credit score. Each year, you can go to annualcreditreport.com and you can search and get the information that's on your credit report. And credit is important when buying a home. It helps you secure a lower interest rate. It's not always necessary. That's one of the misconceptions that people have, is that you have to have excellent credit. There's mortgage products that are available that score differently and allow you to have a less than stellar credit score. So never let that be a factor about purchasing a home. And then also too, Credit Karma and Credit Sesame are always not good indicators of your credit score. So it's important to get with a lender and ask them about your credit score because they do have different scoring models when you're purchasing a home. So choosing your home team. There are very important people that when you're choosing your home team. The first is your real estate agent, the loan officer, a title company, and your home inspector. So what are some of the things that I can do to help you when purchasing a home? I can help you draft and deliver the documents that you need to when you're purchasing the home and negotiate on behalf of you. So one of the things that I love to do is make sure that as much as your hard-earned money stays in your pocket and that you try to get money from either the funds for your closing costs, either from down payment assistance programs or from the sellers so that you can help purchase a home so that you can use that extra money to move or to purchase furniture or any other necessities that you need. I can help you coordinate the appraisal for the home and help you with inspections, search listings to help you find the home that meets your needs, and to perform a real estate market analysis so that the home that you're buying, we can help make sure that it stays within your budget and that it is a fair offer and that you're not overpaying for a home that you're interested in. And also, one of the important things that I do is I stay current with the real estate market trends and best practices to best serve you and experience. I've been in the market almost 17 years. So experience and systems do matter. The home inspector, very important throughout the home process because it'll let you know the condition of the home. And the title company is also an important part of your home team because what they'll do is when you purchase a home, you have a title policy. So they'll check out on any liens and encumbrances on the home. So if you're trying to buy a home, we want to make sure that there's no liens and encumbrances because once it becomes your home, you could potentially be responsible. So prior to closing, the title company makes sure that the seller takes care of all those liens or any encumbrances that might be on the home. They'll make sure there's no defects on the deed or any unpaid taxes as well. So those are some of the encumbrances. They'll hold any money and documents throughout the part of the transaction, and they'll also record the deed, mortgage, any other documents with the county office. So always remember, teamwork makes the dream work. And so that's so very important for me because if we work in collaboration with one another, it helps make the process as smooth as possible. Next, please. So what happens during our consultation? One of the first and most important things is that I want you to know that it is my goal and I will try my absolute best to give you 5-star service because this is one of the most important decisions in your life. And so this is where, again, you come home every day after work. This is where you rest your head. This is where you have your meals with your family. This is where you have celebrations and you celebrate holidays. So I want to make sure that when you're buying your first home, that you're educated and that I help you throughout this process. So I'm going to give you 5-star service. We will make a detailed list of your needs and your wants when you look and what you're looking for in a home, and then we'll examine your long-term and short-term goals. So checklist. What are some of the things that might be important to you? Is location, price, the home amenities, the size of the property, the quality of the schools, if that's a factor, taxes and cost of living, and a homeowners association. So what is a homeowners association? Sometimes that's where you pay your dues, either quarterly or yearly, and then they pay for certain things like pools, a park, trash pickup, and things like that. So some people don't prefer a homeowners association. So that's some of the factors that we'll look into when we're doing your checklist. So always remember, one step at a time, and you'll get there. The first step is always the hard step, and I'll be there with you through the first step all the way until the end. So what happens during the pre-approval process? So what some of the things that they'll do is that they'll check your proof of income, and they do that with your check stubs, your proof of assets, which they'll get from your bank statements. So they'll usually request 2 months of your bank statements and 2 months of your paycheck stubs. They'll check your employment verification. They'll need your driver's license and your credit. So if you have all these things in place, all you do is submit it usually through a link, and they can let you know within 24 to 48 hours if you're approved for a loan. So what are some of the things to get your offer accepted when you're purchasing a home? First, we execute the contract. And as we go throughout the contract, we'll sit down and make sure that all the terms are in your favor, so make sure that you're protected throughout the contract. And then the next thing you do is you have your option fee. And that's usually between 3 to 7 days that you have your option period. And the option fee usually runs between $100 to $200. And what that is for is that as we mentioned, is when you get your home inspector and you get your home inspector out there to go check the home, the systems, the interior, exterior. And then we talk, then I will talk to the listing agent and I'll let them know, hey, this is what's wrong. There are some issues that are affecting the home. And my client would like a seller's concession or the repairs done prior to closing. And then when I negotiate on your behalf for that, and then if we can come to an agreement and you agree to continue to purchase, as long as that you're satisfied with the terms, then we continue. And then the option fee, which is again ranges from $100 to $200, then you'll get that credited towards your closing. And then the inspection and your earnest money. And when you submit a contract, it will also ask you for your earnest money, and that's usually about 1%. So if you're looking for a home that's about $200,000, then the earnest money is about 1%, so that's $2,000. And the earnest money is telling the seller, I'm interested in purchasing your house. I'm earnest about purchasing it, and here's my earnest money. So it's letting them know in order to secure the contract, this is the amount that we're paying so that we continue to proceed and purchase the home. So when you're under contract and in escrow, these are some of the steps. You continue with your financing. We do the inspection and we order a survey, which is, it tells you where your property, the landlines are. We'll do an appraisal, and the bank usually sends a third-party appraiser out there to give you an appraisal of your home. The title company issues a title commitment. And then also too is that you'll get with your insurance agent and you'll get what's called an insurance binder to make sure that your home is covered and insured fully. And the underwriting process continues, and that's on behalf of your lender. So what are some of the do's and some of the don'ts? And these are important factors when you're purchasing a home. So don't lose focus because you're almost at the end of the finish line. Do's, stay the course, schedule your utilities, gather your moving supplies, and ask your lender about moving any money, which is either taking money out or depositing any money or using any credit. What are some of the don'ts? Don't buy a vehicle. Don't use your credit cards. Don't open and close credit. And don't withdraw or deposit any sums of money. Make sure that you get with your lender about that. And then the next case. So then once we get through that whole process from the home inspection, from first depositing your earnest money, your option fee with a title company, doing the home inspections, continue through the underwriting process, getting with your lender, submitting all the documents, then your appraisal, your survey, then you get those 3 words from the lender saying you have it clear to close. So throughout that process, make sure you continue to make on-time payments before we get to the actual closing. And then what is the clear to close is that the underwriter tells you that all the conditions for your loan have been approved. So then you get that final loan approval, and it's just a few days away from the closing of your home. So on closing day, what happens? We do your final walkthrough. So we go throughout the home, and then we make sure that the things that were there at the beginning, like say the refrigerator, the stove, if we negotiate, we have a washer and dryer stay, if there's a chandelier in the home that you wanted, make sure that the patio, everything, the interior, the exterior looks just like it did when you went under contract. And so that's something that's very important to do that maybe that some people forget to do, but it's important to do the final walkthrough right before closing to ensure that the home is in the condition that it was when you went under contract. And what you bring on closing day, you bring certified funds, your photo ID, and your big smile. And funding, the lender reviews some signed loan documents that you do with the escrow officer, the title company. And then once everything's approved, then they wire the funds, and the lender wires the funds to the title company. Always remember that the possible is not impossible. It's impossible to get this done. And we're going to do that together as part of your team. So once the home is funded, you obtain the keys and you take possession. So then you're welcome to Home Sweet Home. So what are the benefits of hiring a real estate agent, which I hope I have the opportunity to work with you as a real estate agent? The number one reason to hire an agent is that all professional services are free to you. You don't owe anything. You have somebody that has a fiduciary duty to make sure that I put my needs above yours, that I serve you to the best of my ability. And that also too, another benefit is that I have a thorough understanding of the contract complex process of the contract and and complex processes. I love contracts. It's something that I love to make sure that you, as my client, are protected. And I also want to help you make an educated buying decision. One of the other things I can help you with is to find a home that matches your criteria, your needs, and your wants, something that you're happy to come home to every day. I can also help you qualify for down payment assistance programs, such as the one the City of Houston has, that will assist you on your road to homeownership. The City of Houston has a program, a $30,000 down payment assistance program, that's on a first come, first served basis to qualified residents of the City of Houston. So they're on a first come, first served basis. And what you do is you apply, as long as it's open and available, because they're limited, and it's an interest-free loan that's forgivable as long as the homeowner stays within 5 years. You have to qualify. You have to make 80% or less in the median income, and the home has to pay taxes to the City of Houston. And I can help you throughout that process to help you sign up for the class through a HUD, make sure that it's a HUD certified class. And I can also send you a map if you're interested in homes and see if you qualify for the down payment assistance through the City of Houston. One of the other benefits of hiring me as your real estate agent is that I can negotiate intensely on your behalf to help you get the most value for your hard-earned money. So what is my guarantee to you? So I want to empower you with the knowledge to make a wise financial decision when purchasing your home. I want to ensure that the home buying process is as uncomplicated as possible by explaining what each step entails. I want to encourage an open line of communication, whichever you prefer, texting, emailing, or phone calls. My guarantee is to help you become a happy and successful homeowner. You are my priority. So always remember, together we can. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today and to present and to give you very important information about the home buying process. And one of the key factors I want you to take away is that the first step is the best step. I'm here to be a part of your home team and to help you achieve the goal of homeownership. Thank you, Latasha. Thank you, guests, for listening, and I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, Lisa, for that. We're going to continue to move forward. Now we will have Miss Jessica and Miss Sandra. So I believe they have assistants, Mr. N, with their PowerPoint, but as they come, please welcome them. Thank you. I know we had a few questions in the chat. Just one of the questions that I would like to touch bases on. One of the questions was, do we have to use a particular realtor or a particular financial institution? Depending on what program you're applying for, it's up to you and your choice. That is why it's called you're choosing the perfect team, because that is your choice. Whatever realtor is best for you and your family, you choose based on that. One thing about HCD, we want you to have an understanding of what options you have out there. So that's why we are bringing to you throughout this series different professionals that will tell you about their different programs as well as different realtors. But don't if I want you to do your research. And one thing about Lisa, she is more than willing to talk to you about what she can do for you. And you never know, it may be a good fit or it may not be, but I want you to understand you have to do your research when it comes down to this. So we thank Lisa for that. And now we're going to turn it over to the Chase Bank representatives.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sandra Rajano Olivo. I am one of the community home loan advisors with Chase Bank. Jessica is one of my partners, and we are so excited to be here today with you guys. Thank you for spending your evening with us. We have a slideshow presentation, just like Lisa, with a little bit more intel information in regards to the lending aspect. Again, just like Lisa had said, we are all a team in this together. It's a final goal, and our goal is for you to be a homeowner at the end. So the first slide is basically talking about learning more and about what's possible, right? So there's like all these tools that we have and advice that we're going to provide you to help you feel at home while you're buying it. And on the second slide, okay, sorry. Okay, yes, thank you. And so on the second slide, it talks about things that you need to know before you apply for a loan. And, you know, when you sit with your home lending advisor, whether it's myself or whether it's Jessica, there's a lot of information that we're going to go over and a lot of questions. And the most important questions right now is number one, you know, if you're ready to apply for a loan, you should be able to say the following: I know how much home I can afford. I know how to determine my down payment, and I know what kind of mortgage is right for me. And you're going to know all of these once you've shared your information with your lender. So once you've actually had your initial interview with your lender, we would go step by step and let you know how much home you can afford. You know, we want you to have your home forever. And then to determine what's a good down payment for you. We know you have other expenses, you know, furniture and all of that kind of great stuff. It's always an exciting time, but we want to make sure that you're within your budget and that you're comfortable every step of the way. And then by doing that, we're also going to be able to determine what type of mortgage is right for you. There's several different types of mortgages out there. You know, if you're a veteran, for example, we have a VA loan that is a great product. You know, we have a Dreammaker program as well. So we would be going through all of those programs with you and then together decide which one would be the best fit for you. Next slide. This is a great one. This is one of my favorites. It's the how much can I afford slide, right? And this is such a big deal because this is going to tell you how we come about letting you know how much home you can buy. So first of all, your payment history, which is your credit score, that is one of the most important parts. And the reason we say that is because, you know, we're the lender, right? So we're the originator. We are actually putting your application together, and then we pass it on to somebody who is called an underwriter. And that is the department that makes their decisions on this. And they only have a few things to look at. One of the things that they can look at is your credit history, which is your credit score. So we would, you know, check your credit history. They don't know you. This is the way that they're going to try to get to know you, right? And the next thing that they're going to look at is what is your ability to pay? So the portion of your monthly income that will be devoted to your house payment and other debt. So if you take a look at the little pie that is on here, it shows that 33% is everything else. And then it shows that 36% is debt, and then 31% is taxes. The next part is like the market value of your home. So your home will be valued based on an appraisal. Just like the realtor Lisa said, whoever your lender will be, they will outsource a third-party vendor, and they will send out an appraiser. Once the appraisal comes back, and that usually takes about 5 to 7 business days, we here at Chase have a department that will evaluate the appraisal, make sure that it was a fair appraisal that was given for the home. And then we reach out to you, send it out to you, and we share it and we go over it with you. You know, it's up to you if you like to share that with your realtor, but again, we're a team. And so by sharing that with your realtor, it is a great way for them to make sure that, you know, the pricing is fair, that, you know, everything is for you. Again, we try to be very transparent with you and with the realtor. Communication is key when you're buying a home. And then at the very bottom, it kind of breaks it down as to far as you know, what is 36% goes to pay debt? What does that mean? And so basically it says the bank generally advises that your mortgage income be no more than 28% of your gross monthly income. You want to leave 8% for other debts like a car loan. Most people need cars nowadays. You know, Houston is such a big area, and to get to work, you definitely need a car. But you also want to prepare for any type of emergencies or expenses or anything of that nature. We don't want you to be in a home and be tight and not be able to make life changes, go on vacation, all these kind of things. So This is pretty much just the pie graph that we like to follow. And then that also means that 31% of your income goes towards taxes. That's, just the national average. And then 33% goes towards everything else. Example, entertainment, food, clothes, vacation. If you have children, there's daycare, there's just all sorts of expenses nowadays. But this just kind of gives you an idea of how we break it down. Next slide, please. And then we have a program called the Chase Home Buying Advantage Program. Love, love, love. It is actually one of my favorite programs. And it's basically giving you a head start. And the reason I love this is because right now in the market that we're in, you want to be competitive. And there is something called a pre-approval. It's great. It's a beginning of an application. It's basically, a questionnaire that you filled out. You started your application, and based on what you mentioned, this is how much you're approved. But when you have a home buyer advantage program, you get a conditional approval. And a conditional approval is so strong when you're up against other buyers, because this means that you have already cleared underwriting. They have already looked at all your documentation. For example, your pay stubs, your W-2, those kind of things that your lender has asked you to turn in. And so this is a serious buyer. All this means is that you are ready to find your home, whether it's with Lisa or someone else, but all the realtors love to hear a conditional approval. This is just another great way to help secure your loan and to not have any little hiccups or glitches at the end. So if you can get a home buyer advantage, that is one that Chase does, and we love it. It's just a great way for our clients to stand out up against the competition. Next file, please. So, a lot of the questions are, what do I need to do before I start shopping for a home? And as I mentioned, with that conditional approval, you're going to need documents, right? So we have an important checklist document that we give out to our clients. And that is homework, is what I call it, right? And it's something that you can use as a checklist. I, for one, love checklists. I feel like if I have a checklist in front of me, I'm not going to mess up. But it's going to ask for things as far as like, the last 2 recent pay stubs, the last 2 W-2s, maybe if you're self-employed, it's going to list documents that we're going to need to verify income. But this is all going to be collected and sent in to our underwriting team. And so that's why the lender will ask you for that. And then the next question is, I know how to choose the right lender. These are all things that you want. You want a lender who's going to be transparent with you. And what I mean by that is the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Sometimes there may be things that we don't want to hear, or there may be things that we need to work on. And as your lender, that is our duty and our job to do that for you, to get you in the right path, to make sure that you're headed in the right direction and that there's no hiccups in the process. And then also, like, I know how to find out how much I can borrow. That is another piece that we will do. So we have tons of, calculators that you can use on our Chase website that are wonderful. They're user-friendly, but we would love to actually have the opportunity to talk to you and to get down into there and really have some questions. A lot of our clients have a lot of questions that may not be addressed today, that come up later on. And those are ways to find out that you do have the correct lender when they're able to give you all the information that you need to make you feel comfortable when you're buying your home. Next slide. And so the next slide is called All Things Home, All in One Place. And so we have something called Chase My Home, which we just love. And it's an app that you can go in, and you can also go into our website. It's 24/7 access, but you actually get to see and manage the process of your mortgage. So you'll be able to see your application as it's going through. In other words, as your appraisals being ordered, as title commitments being ordered, as the surveys being ordered, you get all the intel information just like we do. And then you can also apply for your mortgage online if you'd like. We also have QR codes that you can actually, goes directly into our link, and you can actually apply there. And again, it will track as well the status of your application. So this process is called Chase My Home. When you apply, we would give you instructions on how to start logging in. That's also where you will go in and set in updated information. In other words, like pay stubs, you can load everything in there. It's very, very user-friendly. It also talks about like neighborhood trends. You can go in there and kind of, take a look at the neighborhoods that you're interested in and, take a look at the recent sales and whatnot. But everything is all in one place with Chase. Next slide.
Love it.
And on this one, it says, how do I go about finding the perfect home and make it an offer? So this is where it gets, really exciting for me, I think, because this is where the magic starts to happen. This is where you have your realtor, and you've already talked about, all your financing is going great. Now you start looking at the neighborhood. Maybe it's important to you to find a home close to your job. Maybe it's important to find just the right school district for your children. Maybe you don't really care, but you want to be in the best nightlife, or you want to have a great eatery. You like to walk to certain stores. That the realtor will help you and guide you hand in hand with that. They do an amazing job of that. No one else knows the town better than them. And this is a great way to do that. But aside from that, they're going to help you to negotiate and make the offer. So I know a lot of times clients who say, I'm just not sure how much I should offer for this home. The realtor will guide you with that. They are going to be pulling comps that are in the area of homes that have sold recently. And they're going to have proof to show you pictures, when dates were sold, statistics, all these types of things to help you negotiate the offer and to make it a fair offer. Next slide. And so this is one of our favorite programs. It's called Chase Agent Express. And, Jessica, myself, we have a plethora of agents that have worked with Chase, and they are a part of a program that we have. And in the program, it's going to basically, once you're pre-approved, conditionally approved as well, then we're going to set out a message to this link, which is called Chase Agent Express, and we're going to invite you to it. And then you would accept the invitation from us. And what this is that we've already plugged in there kind of the area that you're looking for, how much home you're pre-approved for, all those kind of tidbits of information are already going to be in there. And we have selected an array of agents for you. And then you get to do the fun stuff. You get to interview the agents. So you get to reach out to the agents and make sure that it's somebody you want to work with. And this is a great way. But aside from Chase Agent Express agents, just by using our agents as well, 30 days after closing, Chase does do a $1,000 refund for using a Chase Agent Express. So we have tons of agents that are a part of our program. Again, like I mentioned, you would be issued an invitation, you would accept the invitation, it's via email or text, whatever is more convenient for you. But this would be a way for you to connect with the Chase Agent Realtors and decide to move forward. Once you select who your agent is, you'd want to let your lender know. And then that way the lender can introduce themselves, discuss what the plan is, put the plan out there together, and make sure that you're comfortable with it. Okay, next slide, please. And I'm not sure if my partner, Jessica, is able to get on. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can, yes.
I apologize. Earlier I was talking away and apparently I was talking to myself. So I'm very, very sorry. But thank you, Sandra, for that information. I love it. Yeah, so when we talk about finding the real estate agent through our Chase Agent Express, which maybe Miss Lisa probably is part of it, we want to take a look at finding the one for you, just like when we pick a lender. You want to make sure, just like Ms. Sandra mentioned, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel appreciated, and you want to make sure that you trust them, right? Because they're going to be with you throughout this very important process and journey. I like to say it's your home buying journey. It's probably going to be one of the biggest investments that you make when you purchase your home, whether it's your first home, your second home, etc. It's a big investment, and it's important to have the right team. That's why we're building a perfect team on your side. So, finding of the right real estate agent, you might know someone excellent like Miss Lisa. You might have someone else through Chase Agent Express, or maybe you personally know one that you want to work with. You also want to understand the differences between agents, right? So there's a buyer agent, which is the one who works for you. And then there's the seller's agent, which is the one who works for the seller. Okay, so we're understanding the differences of what they do. And on the next slide, I'll kind of explain a little bit about it. So the buyer's agent, which is your agent because you're the buyer, is going to help you find the right home for you. They're going to know your needs, your wants, your desires, and possibly even your concerns, right? Because by this time, you've let them know all about what you're looking for. If you're concerned about safety, if you have kids, you know, you want to have the right school district. All of these things are important for you and for your realtor to know, because they're going to help you be very effective and efficient in finding the right neighborhoods and the right homes based on what you're wanting. So they'll help you, you know, look for different homes. They'll help set up the appointments to be able to go in and actually view the home, tour it, etc. And then, of course, they're also going to help you with the negotiation process. After, you know, once you negotiate in the home, meaning they're going to build up the purchase contract for you, take a look at what the homes were selling for in that area, and then make a fair offer. And then once your contract gets approved, then of course they're going to help throughout the process, just like we will. Now, a seller's agent is something that you can the agent that's going to support the seller, right? So whoever's selling the home. So if you use a realtor, and you can also use a realtor through Chase Agent Express to help buy and sell, and you'll get the $1,000 for each transaction for using one of our agents. And the seller's agent is going to help you look at the comps, which are the homes in the area, see what what they're selling for, make sure your home is put on the market for a fair value. And then they're going to help you compare any offers that are coming in, and then ultimately help you make the right decision on who you want to go with in regards to who you want to sell your home with. Now, on the next slide, we're going to talk about negotiation and making an offer. So your initial offer is based on already comparing. Again, this is where the realtor plays a huge role. I agree with Lisa 100%. Honestly, if you don't have a realtor on your side, it makes things a lot more difficult for you, and you probably are not going to enjoy the process. Having a realtor on your side and you know, the right lender, it just makes everything so smooth when you work in unison. So the realtor is going to help you negotiate. They're already, before you even put in that offer on the home, right? They're going to make sure that what they're selling the home is actually a fair value. If for some reason it may be a little over, they'll probably let you know and then let you make the decision, of what you want to do and what offer you want to put in. Now they'll help you with, you know, understanding the condition of the home. In that sense, it's talking about, you know, once your contract is approved, they usually have really good contacts for inspections. So then that way they can help coordinate that with you, because the option period is usually very small. It's usually anywhere from like 1 to 7 days. But typically you see a shorter option period, which means you have between that time to decide if you, as a buyer, actually want to go through with the home. So during that time, if an inspection needs to be made, you need to do it within that time appropriately, so you can decide yes or no without losing your earnest money. Okay, and so when you're negotiating, they'll help prepare. And the same thing, what Ms. Lisa did mention, when the appraisal report comes back, right? If something needs to be fixed before closing, and maybe we found certain things on the inspection or in the appraisal, they can help negotiate and get you some concession fees to help go towards that, or even possibly lower the purchase price. So they'll help all of that together. And then, of course, they'll definitely help you at the beginning when they're putting in the offer, is really make a strong offer. Your negotiation typically needs to be strong, or your offer needs to be strong. And what we mean by that is making sure that besides the offer and how much you're offering, there's a story behind it, right? Like, okay, we're working in unison. We have Sandra, myself, Lisa. We've provided the conditional approval, which shows on there, hey, we've already been through underwriting. My assets, my income, my employment, all of this has already been approved and verified. All I'm waiting for is the home, the appraisal, and I'm ready to go, right? So a conditional approval letter, like Ms. Sandra mentioned, is the next best thing from a cash offer versus just a regular pre-qualification letter that's just based off of what you told us. All right. And then lastly, and most excitingly here at Chase, when we talk about affordable lending, Ms. Lisa mentioned down payment assistance programs, and we definitely partner with them as well and work side by side. And again, that's a whole team that needs to be involved with City of Houston, Lyft, etc. On top of that, we can stack it with our Chase Homebuyer Grant. So our Chase Homebuyer Grant is property eligible grant. So that just means I simply look up the home you're looking at or wanting to buy or have a contract on, and I'll let you know if it has a grant on it. If it does, the grant can range anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. You can use that money to go towards your closing costs, your down payment, or you can even use it to buy down your points to lower your interest rate. So you have lots of options depending on where you are. Maybe you have enough funds for your down payment and your closing costs, and you want to save money in the long run, so you want to reduce your interest rate, right? We can do that for you. Maybe you have that gap where you're like, I need $2,000 to make it to closing. Well, if your home has a grant, boom, there it is. We can get you to the closing table with our grant. We also have our affordable lending loan, which is a Dream Maker. It's a Chase loan. It's an in-house loan, but it's an agency loan. So our Dream Maker has as low as 3% down. It does have competitive interest rate along with reduced mortgage insurance. And with our Dream Maker loan, if you take a homebuyer education class, again, that one's optional, but if you do take it, we will give you credit towards your closing costs of $500. So that's an additional $500 on top of the grant, whether it's a $2,500 one and $5,000 or the $5,000 one, excuse me. And if you're using any down payment assistance program, we can stack it on top of that. One thing that's not on here that I do just want to mention is if you are a VA and you use our VA loan, that one does have a $2,000 closing benefit with it. So you'll automatically get $2,000 towards your closing costs. And if the house qualifies for the grant, we'll stack that on there as well. And if you guys visit the chase.com, a little link at the bottom, chase.com/affordable lending, there's so many wonderful things, or it's on our QR codes if you use Sandra's or mine. It's on our website as well. If chase.com/affordable lending, it has that tool finder that I'm talking about the grants. If you're like, let me see if this house qualifies for the grant, you can plug in the address and it'll show you if it has it or not, or you can send Sandra and I an email. We'll check it for you. But it also has that affordable calculator, which will give you an idea of how much you can afford by plugging in your income, what your monthly debts are, and maybe what your down payment estimated is. So you can get an idea without pulling credit or anything of where you are in the spectrum of how much you can afford. So I definitely do recommend, checking that website out. It has great resources that you can use, or again, you can use our QR codes to get to it, or send us an email. But I thank you guys so much for your time. Hopefully you've understood and really got value out building the perfect team. Myself, Sandra, Lisa, and our community manager are here to answer any questions. And if you please take some time to take a picture of that QR code real quick. It takes about 30 seconds to fill it out. Give us feedback. If you need additional information, we can do some one-on-one, or if there's any feedback of what we can do better or what you liked, please let us know.
Absolutely. And my name is Ian Okola. And if you're looking at the screen, you see my lovely face on the screen right now. I'm one of the community managers here at Chase, and I just want to thank each and every last one of you from joining our presentation today. If you notice on the screen, there is a QR code. This particular QR code is for you guys. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, you don't want to ask it in a large open forum, scan this particular QR code and I will introduce you to Jessica and Sandra personally, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Now, I'm also a representative of Chase Bank. So if you have any questions about any banking needs whatsoever, take the time to scan this particular QR code and I will make sure that any questions or concerns that you may be having about your own personal finances or your own financial journey, I will get those answered and get those resolved for you quickly and soon as possible. So take the time to scan this particular QR code. And if we can help you with anything, then we definitely want to do that. But now we'll go ahead and open it up for any questions.
Right. I believe we have a question for Chase representative. Do you have programs specifically for educators?
Say that again, ma'am.
The question is, do you have Chase, a representative from Chase can answer this. Do you have any programs specifically for educators?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Perfect. Sorry. I'm telling you, it doesn't like me, this phone. Okay. Specifically for educators, we do not. Unfortunately, at the moment, it is something that we were trying to work on, just how we got that VA closing benefit. But at the moment, we don't.
Okay. All right. And also, either Ian or Jessica or Sandra, if you could put your website in the chat. Someone requested that if you could put your website in the chat for us. And also, I have a question because we do have realtors on here. I know you spoke of Chase agents. How do you get connected with that group?
So if they were able to scan that last QR code that I put up, then I will get them connected with Jessica or Sandra, and they will reach out directly to get you signed up and taken care of.
All right, thank you, Ian, for that.
And I'll send you a link, Ms. Smith, that you can send out via email as well in case they didn't get the QR code.
Okay, thank you for that, Ian. Do we have any questions? You can release your mute and ask your question if you like.
There's one more question in the chat, Latasha. It says, how can I sign up for the class?
If she's speaking of, I'm just gonna assume that she's speaking of the class with Chase. They put the website in the chat. So, oh, the 8-hour class. Okay. Okay. So if you, Lisa, did you want to answer that? Okay.
Yes, I'll post the link here in the chat so that you can have access to sign up.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if they email me, I can send them the HUD certified, all the options that we have here in Houston as well. So either one.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And also, if you do not know, what I'm going to put in the chat is the website for the city of Houston. If you go to our website for home buyers assistance, all you would need to do is put in, I think is step number 2. You put in your zip code and it will bring up all the HUD agencies in that area. So you have different options you can go by to find out a HUD certified class, okay? So I will definitely do that. I believe we had another question. Or someone raised their hand.
Hi, yes, my name is Tamara Foster. And so I have a broad question. I am currently in the process of working with the NACA program. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
It's okay. So they informed me I would need to find extra assistance. So with the down payment assistance that Chase, because through my banking at Chase, I am eligible for the $5,000 grant, as well as seeing if I can apply, if I'm eligible for that 30,000 home buyers assistance grant, if I can apply them, if I don't have a down payment, because the NACA program is where there's like no closing costs and that all of that type of stuff. So if I don't have closing costs or down payment requirements on a purchase of a home, am I still eligible for that those grants?
It's a great question. I'm assuming it was towards Chase, so I'll take that one. You can go ahead and email me. I'll answer it. But what I want to make sure is I want to understand a little bit more about it, because there's certain down payment assistance that we do partner with and certain ones we don't.
Okay.
At the moment, I believe we don't partner with NACA, but again, let's take this offline. I can double check it for us. I know for sure City of Houston Lift, we do partner with those. I can do some digging and double checking, because not all lenders accept all down payments.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that we're doing correct. If we accept it and we do it, then yes, and our grants are stackable.
Okay. So I would just, who would I CC my email to, or do I just address one of these?
In the chat, Mr. Ian just put our survey link in there, and ask that question in there, and we'll get it addressed for you.
Okay. So I think I did a survey right here, the one that he sent the QR code for on the screen.
Okay.
Is that the one is that the same one here that's in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. So my information's already there for you.
Perfect.
Right.
So one of us
Okay.
will reach out to you.
And
Thank
also,
you.
Ms. Foster, I want to piggyback on, I believe it was Jessica just now, Jessica or Sandra, but I want to piggyback on that to tell you that is why it's very important to get a realtor, because a realtor is familiar with the different programs and which programs you can stack. So you won't have to worry about it, doing the footwork yourself. It's good to go ahead, and if you have not gotten a realtor, it's good that will be your first start. And even if you go on our website, they say step one is find a realtor. So it's very important to have that person. So definitely, if you can do that first step, and then you can have the dialogue and conversation with the realtor, and she'll know what exactly that you need. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. You're welcome. I believe Michael Allen, you had a question. You had your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask a question. Now, you said get a realtor, right?
Yes, sir.
What is actually the realtor duties? Is they duty is to look for homes that you are looking for? Do both of y'all, the homeowner and the ones who trying to buy a home, do they come together and look for it?
All right. I'm going to send that right over to Lisa. I think she's already ready.
Yes. Hi. So definitely, Michael, so what we'll do is that we get together. That's one of the first things we'll do during our consultation. Do whatever's comfortable for you. We can text, we can email, or we can chat over the phone, or we can even do like a FaceTime, face-to-face, or meet in person, whichever is most comfortable to you. And during that initial conversation, we'll talk about the needs and the wants that you have about buying a home. Well, it may be location. It might be, for example, you really want a patio with a yard in the back. So we'll go over the things that are most important to you first. And once we identify those things, I can send you a link to houses that might interest you and that meet your search criteria. And then we'll go through them, and then you'll decide which ones that you like best. And we'll make an appointment at your convenience, and we'll go take a look at them. and so then as we go through the home, say you pick two that you really like, So I'll go check the history of the homes. Potentially, I can see when they were purchased, make sure that they're priced accordingly. And then if there's one that you really like, we can submit an offer. And so I'll help you from the beginning of the process. So it's important to get a realtor from the very beginning, because I'll help you make sure that you get with the lender. You might have one that you have already, and then see which one house fits in your budget, and we'll take a look at those. So yes, I can help you with that process, and you and I will do that together. Now, here's something that I also want to stress is that say you're looking for a home and you go online to har.com, or that you're driving around, you see a sign and you see a realtor's name. Let's just say her name is Jennifer Smith, and you call Jennifer Smith and you say, hey, Jennifer, can I take a look at that house? She takes a look at the house and you decide that you like that house. What's important to understand is that Jennifer represents the seller. She has a fiduciary duty to represent the seller, and that although she can assist you, she can't really tell you certain things. Like if you tell her, hey, Jennifer, I want to make an offer on this property. Do you think this amount is great? She represents the seller. So that's why it's important to have an agent on your behalf as your buyer's agent to give you the information that best protects you throughout the negotiation and through the purchase of the home.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what you saying is we'll get together and you'll give me a list of
Yes, sir.
homes of what I'm looking for.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if say for instance you send me 5 houses, 5 homes, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I like it, but this one here is the kitchen too small. Can you find me one with, the bathrooms have tubs in it with a shower, a garden tub, so we are working together, right? Now, say if a certain area that I want, would you look in that somewhere in that area, or say in that area and then say 3 miles outside that area close to it? Would you do that? Would it be on me to do that?
No, I can get so specific. I can do a radius search from, like, say, for example, from this road to this road, from this way to this freeway to this freeway. So I can get very specific with a radius search. I can even search for homes where the front door faces a certain direction. So I can get as specific as you want me to. Whereas if you want a 2-story home, but you want all bedrooms up, or you want the primary down and all the other ones up. So I can get very specific with your search. And so say, for example, I do send you a list of 10 homes that all meet your search criteria. And then say there's one that you really like. You're like, you know what, this one meets all of it. I want to go check this one out and go look at it. And there's just something about the house you didn't like. Then we start the process all over. So it could take as little as a week. It could take as long as 6 months. So it's about finding the home that best fits you so that you can be happy each day that you come home.
Okay. So your job, basically a realtor's job is to satisfy me. So therefore
Absolutely.
that when I get out work, like, hey, I'm going home, I'm going to my crib.
My home, my crib. That's correct.
All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
I can't hear.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Miss Ada and her daughter Tina. So we're
Yes.
in the process of getting a house built through the Houston Habitat of Humane. We have a home buyers class Saturday. Would that be connected to this?
Well, the agency that you're using, this is if you're are you getting a house rebuilt?
No, we're
Because
getting one built.
one built. Okay. Then you're already going through a particular program
Oh,
to
okay.
get
Okay.
your however, it is very important as you go through that process of, finding out what it is that you want in your home. If they give you that choice, I want you to continue to come, because the next particular session, we are speaking about what to expect when you become that homeowner. So
Okay.
any questions that you need to know about property taxes, insurance, different things that is very essential to your success in home ownership. So definitely continue to come, even though you're in that program.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. I
ma'am.
will.
You're welcome. All right,
I
do we
have a
have any?
question.
Latasha?
My
Oh,
name is
Oh,
Davita Peterson.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi. So, I submitted my new homes for Houston application. I'm actually out of state in the process of that. Um, so what I wanted to know is I was pre-approved for a home in my state. But now it actually ran out. I heard that they're only good for 90 days. Is
Mhm.
that correct? Okay.
It
So I
depends
wanted to
on
know,
the financial institution.
okay. I went through sort of like Rocket Mortgage. They're called American Funding.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know, can I go through Chase under the program? Because I did when I submitted my information, all of my documents for New Homes for Houston, which I can't get there until June when my daughter graduates from high school. But um, I wanted to know, can I just go through Chase Affordable Lending to get? See, I'm kind of caught in a dilemma because I don't have employment there as of yet because I'm not there yet. Um, and I've been on my job where I'm at for 13 years. So I didn't know, like, should I just go through with the Chase and try to get pre-approved, or I'm just like kind of like caught in a dilemma, like I just don't know which way to go with the process as far as me not having employment there as of yet and still trying to go through the process to get a home there. If that makes sense.
Okay, I think your question
Um,
is a question we might want to deal with offline
okay,
because
okay,
we may need to get some more specific information regarding your circumstance. So
okay,
so definitely Ian, I may just connect you with Ian or someone from
okay.
his team to talk to you about what options you have.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
All
because I
right,
didn't know if I could go through them. Yep, that's no problem. Okay.
all righty then.
Yeah, feel free to
Um,
connect with me and I'll get her with Jessica.
all right, all right. See, Ian
Thank
already
you.
got you situated.
Thank you.
That's what I
Okay.
love. All right. So time is winding up, so we're just gonna go ahead and move forward. If you have any questions, please feel free. Go ahead and put those questions in the chat. We definitely want to get back with you. I see Lisa's hand, so I'm going to go to Lisa and then we're gonna go back into our upcoming events.
yeah, so I just wanted to quickly mention that we definitely want to work with our lender partners at Chase, but in the event that they might not have a program that you want to utilize, like say for some for first responders or for teachers, that we do have programs available with other lenders that have those kind of programs. So, it's good to shop around, but again, we want to try and work with our lender partners so that we can be your first choice as a home team. Just wanted to mention that.
All right. Thank you, Lisa, for that. We appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and finish up with our upcoming events. If you would, just bear with me as I bring up the slide for that particular flyer. Let me see real quick. Here we go. And now we have our upcoming events.
Thank you, Latasha. Our upcoming 360 Road to Home Ownership Series session 3, Road Rules, What to Expect. That is going to be 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We'll also have session 4, Housing Tune-ups, Maintenance and Care After Home Ownership. That's also going to be 6 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. and you can register today.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Deja. And I just want to really just reiterate, going to the City of Houston's website, we do have some new home developments that are coming up through our new division, Large Track. One is called Affordable Home Development Programs. We have homes in the Acres Home area and the Old Spanish Trail, South Union. Applications are being accepted now for that particular housing development. We also have OST, Old Spanish Trail, South Union on MLK Boulevard. That will be opening up soon for accepting applications, as well as Third Ward, Northeast, Greater Fifth Ward, South Park, North Side, Central, Southwest, and the Greater Third Ward. All these new home developments, you can go to our website. It gives you the dates where they will be accepting application. It is through our Large Track program. Yes, we are talking about one of the agencies that they are going through is Agape Development. Yes, it is. So if you have any questions, please put those questions in the chat, and we will definitely get those questions answered for you. Now I'm gonna give this over to my manager, Ms. Onika Porter, to close us out with final remarks. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
I would like to thank our guest speakers for joining us today and giving us all of this helpful information. I would also like to thank my staff, my team. They always do an amazing job putting these things together. And thank you guys for joining us. If you guys have any questions that you may have forgotten or were not able to get into the chat at any time you think of any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We will get back with you. We are very responsive, so please send your questions over at any time. Okay, thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. And y'all have a
Thank
blessed
you.
night.
You too.
Good night.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ian. Thank you, Ian, Lisa, Sandra, and Jessica.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Thank you all.
Thank
Value
you.
your time.
It was great.